Good morning from South Africa, which is not so sunny this morning. What I have here is an air shotgun, actually a beautiful piece. It shoots air shells, but it can also shoot bolts or arrows, as well as slugs. And you can perhaps hunt almost anything with it. I've wanted to review this quite some time ago, but I was first trying to figure out exactly how I'm going to do it. And then this world catastrophe happened. So, like everybody else, I'm stuck in my house in lockdown. Can't go to the farm, can't shoot, can't review air guns. This specific gun is way too loud to shoot in my background and try to review that way. But at least since we're on lockdown, we're safe from all the lions and leopards and hyenas and elephant and rhinos, which apparently roam South Africa's streets. Or so many European and American people seem to think, but okay, perhaps that wasn't so funny. Anyway, so what I've decided to do was I'm not going to review this shotgun, although I would really like to do it, but I'm rather going to talk about watches, which is one of my other interests. Now, I'm not a watch expert by any means, and this is why this is not called South African Watch Channel. However, I have a modest collection of watches, none of them very expensive, but I like watches. I watch videos on watches as well, and I thought this would be a good time to talk about field watches for air gunners. Because if you're in the field and you're hunting with your air gun, and you're perhaps on the trail, you still need to know what time it is, but you have to know what time it is from a watch or a timepiece which would be able to take a beating while you're out there. So before we talk about what air guns are, or rather, before we talk about what field watches are, let's first show you what field watches are not. And I'm going to show you two of my watches that are actually dress watches and which in no way would be suitable to use in the field. They're quite smart and they are quite usable, but I definitely wouldn't take them into the field because they're not really that durable, they're not that rugged, and I don't think they would make it there. What's more, this gold one definitely is not suit the typical outfit if you wear, or which you wear when you go into the field. So let me just show you these from up close. That one was a Citizen Echo Drive. This one is a Lanco. It's also a quartz watch, runs off a battery. Nice blue hands, but with no lume, and you definitely wouldn't be able to see what time it is in the dark. So now, let's have a look at what a field watch really is. Field watches were originally known as military watches and were designed for use by soldiers in military fields of operation. They had to fulfill a number of strict criteria, the so-called mil-spec. These days, field watch is a term that is used much more broadly, but a field watch still needs to fulfill a number of criteria before it can be taken seriously as a field watch. So what makes a typical field watch? Let's have a look. A field watch needs to be legible under all conditions and light situations. This calls for a simple dial with no frills or distractions. Of course, the watch also needs to be legible in the dark. This calls for luminous numerals and hands. There is usually an inner ring with 24-hour numerals to enhance the military theme of the watch. A field watch needs to be rugged to be able to withstand all the knocks in the field. It should also be corrosion resistant, so the case is usually made of stainless steel, but materials such as some kind of resin or titanium is also occasionally used. The shape is usually round to avoid snagging in clothing or bush or whatever. Crown protection is preferable, although this is often not the case. Not only will it protect the crown from damage, but will also stop it from snagging. Ruggedness should further be improved by adding a scratch-resistant watch crystal, or for us people who are not watch aficionados, a watch glass. And finally, to complete our field watch, we need to add a canvas or nylon watch strap, usually olive green, khaki or camouflage in color. We choose this material because it is easier to repair in the field than, for instance, a bracelet or even a leather watch strap. Now, after watching all of that, there are just a few things which I would like to talk about a little bit more in detail. Firstly, about the glass covering the watch or the crystal. There are essentially three kinds of crystal. Firstly, acrylic or plastic kind of crystal. Acrylic crystals are very tough, they don't shatter easily, but they are very prone to scratching. And they are really less suitable to use as a field watch or on a field watch. However, you also get mineral glass, which is just ordinary glass used to cover the face of the watch with. And they are a little bit more prone to shattering, but not that much, and are more prone to scratching, but again not as much as acrylic crystal. My personal experience has been that these mineral glass crystals are not really that prone to scratching, and I really haven't had that much problem, or that much of a problem with these mineral glass crystals. The top of the line crystal would be a sapphire crystal, which is a lot more or a lot harder than the mineral glass crystal. They don't scratch easily at all. They apparently shatter a little bit more easily, but I haven't seen that either. So in my experience, the material the crystal is made of, whether it's mineral glass or sapphire, doesn't really make that much of a difference. Then just shortly something about water resistance. I would say the minimum water resistance a field watch would be 100 meters. That would mean that you can really submerge it without any concerns that water will penetrate the watch, and you won't have to baby it at all when you're in the field, perhaps when you have to cross a river or have to wade into a dam to fetch a duck that you've shot. So although you can perhaps consider doing it with a 50-meter water resistance, I would feel much more comfortable with at least 100 meters of water resistance. And if you have a screw-down crown, which will make this watch even tighter, so much the better. Finally, I spoke about the typical field watch strap being a canvas strap made of nylon or canvas, and although there's true, many field watches these days also have metal bracelets, and if it's a high quality, good strong bracelet, they are also very suitable to be used in field watches. The one thing which I don't think is really suitable for a field watch would be a leather strap, because if you get them wet, they can really be damaged by the water, and it's not as easy to clean either. Native strap you can throw in the wash and it will come out perfect, and you just rinse off your metal bracelet and dry it, and it's back to where it was when it was new. But not so with the leather strap, so I would stay away from leather straps in field watches. And there you are.
So now, let's have a look at a few well-known field watches from the lowest to the highest price brackets. The Timex Expedition is a classic field-style watch with a 40mm brass case. Brass, unfortunately, is not a very durable material to make a watch case from, and stainless steel would have been a much better option. It has a mineral crystal covering the face, which means that it is more prone to scratching than, for instance, sapphire crystal. However, I've never found the mineral crystals to be that prone to scratching, and I really don't mind that. It has a fabric strap, is 50 meters water resistance, and has a quartz movement. This means that you will have to change the battery if the watch stops. That makes it less than ideal as a field watch. However, it only costs between $40 and $45, and you can perhaps forgive it for some of its deficits if you pay that kind of bargain price. If you are prepared to pay approximately 10 times more than for the Timex, you can get a Hamilton Khaki, which is the quintessential field watch. It has a 38mm stainless steel case, a sapphire crystal, it's 100 meters water resistance, and has an automatic movement, which means that as long as you wear it, it will keep on running. The leather strap, however, is a shortcoming, and I would not want to get that leather wet too many times before it will start showing the wear and tear. At $400 to $500, the Hamilton Khaki is an excellent quality Swiss-made field watch which will probably never let you down. The Rolex Explorer is arguably at the top of the food chain as far as field watches go. You get it in either a 36 or a 39mm stainless steel case, sapphire crystal, a stainless steel bracelet, 100 meters of water resistance, and a very good Swiss automatic movement. If you can find it, you will pay about $10,000 or around $7,000 if you would like a certified pre-owned version. But it is very difficult to get, and you'll probably not be able to walk into an authorized Rolex dealer and get one of those for sale. One of the reasons why this watch is so expensive is because of this, which is printed on the dial just above the 6 o'clock position. It says officially certified superlative chronometer, which means that this is an extremely accurate mechanical watch. Other reasons include the fact that the hands and the indices are made of white gold, which is apparently much more corrosion resistant than stainless steel. However, I think the most important reason that this watch is so expensive is because it's a Rolex and they can charge that much for such a watch.
This is it for the overview of field watches for airgunners. I hope you've enjoyed this video. What I plan to do next is to post 3 reviews of some of my own field watches. It will be short reviews in which I'll just go over the features, good and bad points. And I'll start off with this Orient Defender. And I hope I can get the focus better this time. And then follow it up with 2 other watches. This Orient Defender is a mechanical automatic watch, and that brings me to just one more point. I don't think battery operated quartz watches are quite appropriate because the batteries can run flat when you're on a hunting trip, and then you probably won't have a battery to replace it with. Whereas a mechanical automatic watch, or for that matter, a solar powered quartz watch, will carry on when the sun is shining or there's any light, or if you wear a mechanical watch on your arm, you'll just keep on running and never need any batteries. Anyway, thank you for watching this video and see you next time.